Hello everyone, so I'm Jahan, okay, so I'm a chemistry teacher for SPM and IGCSE. So for today's topic, it's one of our very important topic in our Form 4, okay, so this is about Form 4 Chapter 3. So for Form 4 Chapter 3, there are actually a lot of subtopics. So first of all, we have to actually learn the formulas, okay, we have to learn the charge, and then we have to balance equation, we have to learn how to write an equation or the chemical equation, ionic equations. So this topic here is called stoichiometric calculation, which is, I would say that this will be the hardest topic among the whole chapter 3 because it involves all the things that you learn in chapter 3 and you combine it into one question. So this will be that, like basically the ultimate question of your Form 4 chapter 3. So for this thing, we call it stoichiometric calculation. Before I start, you have to know a few things before you can do this question. Okay, the first thing you have to know is the formulas. Okay, so what are the formulas we have in Form 4 chapter 3? So first of all, okay, number one, okay, you're gonna learn about something called number of mole. So we can short form right now here is called number of mole. So number of mole, actually you can, as you know, you learned before in Form 4 chapter 3, and there are a lot of formulas. So to simplify for now, okay, so we have number of mole equals to number of particles over Avogadro constant. Okay, so where particles consist of atom, ion, and molecule. Okay, so I call it AIM. Okay, and then second formula we have for number of mole, it's mass over molar mass. Okay, so where mass is something that should be given in the question, or maybe you should find it in the question, and molar mass is something also should be provided by the question. Then the last formula is number of mole equals to volume over molar volume. Okay, so just to recall for those who are not sure about what these formulas at here. Okay, so number one is, okay, what is Na? So this Na, we call it Avogadro constant, and it's actually a constant, as you know the word constant. So constant means that it should be a fixed number, and the number should be always provided by question. So if the question never gives you this number, means you're not going to use this formula. So that's how easy it is. Then we have next one, okay, if you want to know, okay, Avogadro constant is actually 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23. So it's actually a very long number, should be provided by question. Then molar mass, okay, if you do not know what's this, molar mass can be known as your relative atomic mass. So we call it RAM. So what is relative atomic mass? Like when you check your periodic table, okay, each atom have their own mass. So let's say for carbon it's 12, for oxygen it's 16, okay. So all these things are again given by question. So you see, RAM, okay, of zinc is 65, your N is 14, your O is 16. Okay, now so molar mass should be always provided by question also. Okay, then for molar volume also something that should be provided by exam. You see, molar volume at STP is 22.4. So actually, molar volume, I would say it's one of a very easy thing to remember. Molar volume only got two choices. You only have 22.4 and 24. It depends on what's the condition of the question. Then you choose the correct molar volume accordingly. Okay, so what happened is, why do I need to recall back all these formulas? Okay, because first of all, in this stoichiometric calculation, what they want is normally, okay, maybe they give you the mass of a chemical, but they ask you to find a volume of another chemical. So how should I relate mass and volume? Because they're in different formulas, right? How should I relate mass and volume together? So as you see, all the formulas, they're all equals to number of mole, correct? So basically, number of mole is like the common thing between all these formulas. So let's say if I have mass of a chemical, I can use mass over molar mass to find my number of mole. Then number of mole, I can relate to the next formula. I can use volume over molar volume. Then I bring this over, I can find my volume. Okay, now, so these are the three important formulas in your Form 4 Chapter 3 in order to start doing stoichiometric calculation. Okay, now, so that's the first thing. Again, you should know these three formulas first. And then the second thing will be what? The second thing will be your chemical equation. So for chemical equations, okay, for in this video, I'm not gonna try to go into details because chemical equation should be something that should be you all should be practicing all this while, okay? Because this is very end of the chapter 3 already. Okay, at the end of chapter 3, you should know how to write an equation. You should know how to balance an equation. Okay, so in this video, I don't focus on that. Okay, so let's start for the first question. Let's try for the first one. Okay, so always to start stoichiometric calculation, we always have this thing. Stoichiometric calculation, I can solve it by using 3 steps. Okay, the 3 magical steps. Three steps, you listen carefully, 3 steps can settle everything. So for the first one is here, if you read the question, thermal decomposition of zinc nitrate. Okay, so always highlight what are the chemicals you have in the question. So first of all, we have zinc nitrate, okay, zinc nitrate at STP. Okay, STP stands for standard temperature and pressure, which is a condition given by the question. So you just leave it there, okay? And what's the chemical we have continue? You see, after from zinc nitrate, it will produce zinc oxide, nitrogen dioxide gas, and oxygen gas. So basically, there are 4 chemicals here. So what is the volume of gas? Okay, so after highlight the chemicals you have, right? Next thing to highlight is what the question want and what the question will give you as an information. So if you look at this, okay, let's see from here. Okay, they ask you what is the volume of gas. So the next thing to highlight is the question. What the question want? They want to find volume of gas. But then, if they want you to find something, they must give you some numbers, some information. Only you can start with your calculation mark. They won't just ask you to find this thing, but they never give you any hint. They should give you a hint, and then they ask you to find something else. Okay, now. So if you continue read, you see that volume of gas released when 3.78 gram of zinc nitrate, okay, it's heated strongly. So means what? Means that what they gave you is 3.78 gram of zinc nitrate, and then they ask you to find volume of gas. Okay, now. So before I really start the question, you should know to write chemical equation. So let's try to write chemical equation here. Okay, so as I said, I'm not gonna recall back the steps to do chemical equation. So anything to understand? Okay, refer back to anyone that you know that is very good at chemistry, or you can ask me in Instagram. Okay, you can go to my profile. You can see that there's an Instagram account. Okay, you can PM me there. Okay, or maybe in the comment section. Okay, first time in YouTube. Alright. Okay, so what's the volume of gas released when 3.78 gram of zinc nitrate? So first of all, let's write the chemical equation. So if you read the question is thermal decomposition means you use heat. Thermal means heat. You use heat to decompose. Decompose means break down. You try to break down something. So thermal decomposition means you try to break down zinc nitrate and produce 3 chemicals, which is zinc oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and oxygen gas. So what we're going to do now is, so for zinc nitrate will be Zn NO3 bracket 2, okay, and then you have to put an arrow, okay, because you don't have anything because it's thermal decomposition, you're just burning stuff, and then you have to put a small triangle to indicate this is decomposition, okay, it's a heating process. So once you have this, you produce zinc oxide, okay, you produce nitrogen dioxide, and lastly you produce oxygen gas. Okay, you read the question, you try to write out all the chemical symbols that you should know from the question. Okay, so after okay with this, next thing to do is the balance equation, because balancing is very important. Because you see, after you balance, the numbers in front of them, they are all related to number of mole. So this is why balancing equation is very important in this question here. So to balance this equation, I have zinc, 1 zinc on the left, 1 zinc on the right. Okay, so zinc got 1 each on 1 in the front and back, so it's balanced. But if you look at N, okay, I have N. Okay, I have N here, N bracket 2. Okay, but then I have 1 N at the back. So supposingly that you should know that, oh, teacher, because in the front I got 2, at the back only got 1, so I should make the lesser one become the more. Okay, so from 1 it can become 2 by times a 2 here. Okay, so I don't wish to recall you guys that when you balance equation, you should put a number in the front. Okay, so next thing to do is, I have oxygen, I have 3, but bracket 2 means I have 6 oxygen. Okay, now, but if you look at the back, okay, I have in total, here got 2 times 2, I got 4. Here got 2, in the front got 1. So in total, I have 7 oxygen at the back. So means in the front, I got 6, at the back got 7. So it's one even and one odd number, right? So what happens is when you try to do balancing equation, sometimes I would say most of the time, most students struggle on balancing equation. Most of the time, students will say, teacher, how to do? Where should I start to add my numbers? I thought that adding 2 is enough. No, now it's not enough because O is 7 at the back, O is 6 in the front. Okay, so in this case here, what you're gonna do is, I'll give you I'll say a trick. Okay, this trick is this. Whenever you can't balance equation, you found out that there's even number and odd number at the front and at the back. Okay, what you're gonna do is you find the one that is having the most atoms. You find the compound that contains the more atoms, which is, you see, the first one contains what? Contains zinc, nitrogen, and oxygen, right? So you see inside got a lot of atoms inside. Then others only got zinc, oxygen, nitrogen, oxygen, and just oxygen. So I will say the first one on the left, okay, this guy has the most atoms. What do you do is you remove all the numbers that you previously put, okay, you remove all the number, okay. What you're gonna do now is you go to the one with the most atoms, you put a 2 in the front. A trick, okay. You put a 2 in the front of the compound containing the most atoms. What you're gonna do, you try again, okay. So let's say if I have 2 zinc, at the back I only have 1, so I'm going to put another 2 here. So 2 zinc in the front, 2 zinc at the back, so zinc is again balanced, right? But then I have n bracket 2, means I have n2, but don't forget that the 2 will expand into it also. So the n2 bracket 2, you total have 4n. So now you can have 4 NO2 here because of the 4n. Okay, you need 4 nitrogen. Okay, at the back I also need 4 nitrogen. Okay, then I have O. Let's count the oxygen. So O3 times 2, O6. 6 times 2 will be O12. Okay, now then what happened now is because of the O12, let's count at the back. So here got 4 times 2. Here is 8 oxygen. Here is 2 here is 1 times 2. So here also got 2 oxygen. So 2 plus 8 plus 2, it's also equals to 12 oxygen. So at the front, 12 oxygen, at the back, also 12 oxygen. So this is a brief recap on how to balance equation. Okay, try to balance before arrow and after arrow to get it the same number of atoms before and after arrow. So once you can get this done, okay, what you're gonna do now is let's put in all the information that we get from the question just now. So from this now, we realize that okay, what the question one is to find volume of gas. So if you read the question, there are actually 2 types of gas. One is called nitrogen dioxide gas, one is called oxygen gas. So I'm gonna go down here is I'll try to put a bracket here. I want to find the volume of these 2 gases. Okay, so label down what you want. And also label down what you have, which is the 3.78 gram. So you're gonna go to zinc nitrate. So we find out which one is zinc nitrate. So zinc nitrate is the first chemical compound. So you can put down here is I have the mass, which is 3.78 gram. Okay, so once I have the mass, I have the information that I want. Okay, so I have this, I have this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually start your calculation. So I want to find this but I only have this information. So you always start. Okay, so step 1, this I told you I can solve this question by 3 steps. Step 1 is to always start with the information you have. So what information do I have? I get from the question, I get mass is 3.78 gram. Right. So because of the 3.78 gram I have mass, I go and find the formula that relate to mass. So obviously which one? I will say it's this one. Right. So use the second formula because it's related to mass. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for my first step. Okay, so step number 1. I'm gonna always start with the information provided. So because I am given with mass, I'm gonna use the formula with mass. If I've started with volume, if the question gave me volume, I'm gonna use volume over molar volume. Okay, so it depends on question. So for here, I'm gonna start with number of mole equals to mass over molar mass. Okay, but don't start first. Make sure you label down carefully first. Okay, because each formula only applies for one compound, one chemical. Okay, you cannot mix here and there. So let's say for this one, I have the mass of zinc nitrate. Means that I should use molar mass of zinc nitrate. Okay, then I take mass of zinc nitrate divided molar mass of zinc nitrate. I found number of mole of zinc nitrate. Okay, now so means one formula applies for one chemical. Okay, so right now I'm going to put this into here. Okay, so I'm going to have 3.78 gram. Okay, but do I have the molar mass of zinc nitrate? So what you're going to do? Do you see? I told you molar mass, it should be given by the question, right? The question gave you zinc is 64, 65, N is 14, O is 16, right? You're going to do your normal maths. Add them together. So the molar mass for zinc nitrate will be 65 plus N is 14. Okay, O3, so means 16 times 3 bracket. But then, because NO3 holding bracket 2, so I'm going to put a square bracket times 2. Okay, now, so you use a calculator, press the calculator, and you get the answer should be 0.02 mole. Okay, So at this 0.02 mole this is the number of mole of zinc nitrate. But then, is this your final answer? Not yet, because I only found that this is the number of mole of zinc nitrate, right? But what I want is the volume. So when you talk about volume, the first thing you think of is what is the formula that relates to volume? So you're going to be like, oh, teacher, these are the number of mole equals the volume over molar volume, right? But then, if I want to find volume, I should have molar volume, right? So if you read the question, do you see molar volume is 22.4? So you are provided with molar volume. But then, do you have number of mole? You're going to be like, teacher, number of mole, 0.02. Can you straight away put 0.02 straight away into this formula? I would say it's a wrong step. Why? Because you want to find volume of these two gases, but then you go and use number of mole of zinc nitrate. You take number of mole of this chemical, you try to find the volume of these two chemicals. Is it even logic? Is it even logical? No. Okay, doesn't make sense. So what I want is, I want to use the number of mole of zinc nitrate, which is this 0.02. I want to relate it to these two chemicals that I want at the back. So step 2 is to always compare a ratio. So what do you compare? Compare what you have and compare what you want. Okay, now. So what do you mean by compare what you have and compare what you want? Let's see. So what do you have? What's the number of mole do you have? Number of mole of who? The number of mole of your zinc nitrate. So at this question here is, what I have is the information for zinc nitrate. Okay, but what I want is the gas, which is the nitrogen dioxide and the oxygen gas. So which is I'm trying to compare to NO2 and O2. See the ratio there? So what is the ratio between zinc nitrate and these two gases? So the thing now is, read the number, extract the number in front of them according to your chemical equation. That's why I say chemical equation was important, right? So here is, you see the number in front of here? It's 2. So that's a number for zinc nitrate. Okay. But what's the number in front of NO2 and O2? So if you read through, it is 4, and here is no number, right? If it's no number, means 1. Okay, so 4 plus 1 together will be 5. So the ratio between zinc nitrate and the two gases we have, it's 5. So it's 2 to 5. Correct. So the thing is, by writing down this ratio, okay, it proves that between zinc nitrate means 2 mole of zinc nitrate produce 5 mole of gases. Okay, I will say now I combine the gases together because they never specified what gas to find. So I'm going to combine 2 gases together. So 2 mole of zinc nitrate will produce 5 mole of gases. So what's the point of this? The point of this is I can relate the ratio to the number I found in step 1. So let's say if I tell you that the ratio is 2 to 5, what you're going to do is, I know that zinc nitrate, the exact number of mole, it was 0.02 according to step 1, right? So right now, I'm going to make this 0.02, okay? And then I'm going to try to find the number of mole of the gas. So according to your maths brain, okay? So maths brain, 2 to 5. So if the exact number come down is 0.02, so the ratio should be 0.05. Correct. So according to the maths ratio that you learned before, okay? So what is this? This should be what? This should be the number of mole of the gases that we have. Correct. So by having this number of mole, only you can go to step 3. So now in step 3, we have to find number of mole equals to volume over molar volume. Again, label carefully first. What I want to find is the volume of gas. Correct. Means I should use number of mole of gas. You get the point? So this is the reason why 0.02 cannot straight away come to here. Because this is number of mole of zinc nitrate and this is number of mole of gas. So I should have number of mole of gas from where? From after comparison. So it should be 0.05. So at here, I'm going to put in 0.05 equals to volume of gas over molar volume. So molar volume, is given by question, 22.4. So volume of gas, it should be 22.4 times 0.05. So I'm going to get 1.12 dm cubed. And that's your final answer. Okay, so at this point here is, these 3 steps shows you a very good trend. Okay, every question can be done by this trend. Step 1, always use information provided. Okay, I give you mass, you use formula with mass. I give you volume, you use formula with volume. Okay, now, so I have volume, I have mass in this case here, mass over molar mass. Find my number of mole, compare, and then relate to my last formula. Okay, so this will be the 3 magical steps to actually guide you through and find the calculation that you need. Okay, so we call this stoichiometric calculation. And the point is, equation and balancing equation is your basic. So you should master this first. Only you can do this. Okay, okay. So in this case, this will be the 3 steps that we actually have for stoichiometric calculation. And I prepared few questions in this PDF. Okay, that I will actually put it down in the section bottom. So if you are interested, you can try all the exercise and I will post the answer together. Okay, so I'll see you in my next video.